I'm actually a little bit curious if they're going to be going with roughly the same bans they did before. Or I'm actually also curious if they lost any bans, because I know a lot of tournaments play a rule where if you're late, you lose bans. But in this case, as far as I'm aware, they're going to have the full complement.
Yeah, and besides having they have all their bans, but that 1-0 forfeit was of course in there for being late, or delay of game rather. So Cloud9 HyperX Eclipse will have the blue side for what is essentially the second game of the series, getting a default win in game 1, of course, due to like I said, that delay of game. So if you guys are just now joining us, then you came at exactly the right time, because we're just starting here with the first casted game, but it's actually the second game of the series. C9E up 1-0 in this best of 5.
Yeah, indeed. And now we actually have got some bans coming in at last here. So Renekton, Ziggs, Lee Sin, Lulu, and Nidalee. And it seems that what C9 Eclipse here really fear out of Dark Passage, with the obvious exception of the Renekton ban, which is just a kind of generic ban, is they fear poke and siege compositions, because that's basically the only reason you would ban out both Ziggs and Nidalee at the same time.
Yeah, Ziggs, Nidalee, both very, very heavy poking, but more than that, especially the Ziggs is just wave clear. And so what I want to see more of is maybe, I mean, if Dark Passage still want to go for the wave clear, they can kind of pick up something like maybe Gragas, who's kind of got that same idea, does it a little bit more different, or a little bit differently. But now that we're through the ban phase, you can see just overall strong champions banned from Dark Passage. We're actually going to see a first pick LeBlanc locked in, and you know, not super huge in North America, even though it is still a very strong pick over there. But in Europe, man, it's all about those big mid lane assassins, and locking in the LeBlanc is going to be there for Vivin.
Yeah, well, it's an understandable choice right now, because obviously, with the exception of AP Soraka middle, none of the traditionally considered counters to LeBlanc are actually still available. So you've got a safe pick in LeBlanc, but you've also got a really, really strong pick that synergizes very, very well with Cloud9 Eclipse's playstyle that they really love to run. And I'm actually not too surprised to see them picking out Wukong and Leona at the same time right now, because what they love to do is to have a reasonably strong top laner split pushing quite a lot, applying map pressure, and then they have LeBlanc and they have they have Vivin and they have Ku roaming together post level 6 and setting up kills, and then using that to take objectives. They don't like to play straight up 5v5s with this comp. They love to have fairly mobile bot lane with good initiation and a fairly mobile top lane with good initiation, and both of those just keep pushing. Then the jungler in the mid lane applies that pressure. Obviously, there's still other aspects to it, vision control, dragon control, etc, but that's the kind of core of their style.
And speaking of styles, I was talking, you were the one that mentioned the poke bans out here from Cloud9 HyperX Eclipse. Dark Passage, they might have been looking more for wave clear, which is something that Renekton and Ziggs both do pretty well. Hovered over the Gragas, but it does look like Dark Passage are going to lock in that Orianna Naru, locking that in. And unless I'm mistaken, Ku and Odwamne are actually in opposite spots. So I was like, wait a second. I may not follow, you know, as the EU scene as much as I follow NA. I'm still pretty sure that's gonna be Odwamne jungling, if I'm correct.
No, I think Odwamne is usually the top laner.
All right. Well, there we go. I was at least sure about 3/5 of their lineup. So.
Oh well, such is life.
See, I was thinking that Odwamne was following in Odd One's shoes, because they basically have the same name, right?
Yeah, I mean, Twitch chat would definitely agree with you.
Hey, see, I've got people on my side, man.
Yes, you do. And for the love of God, that's the worst group of people to have on your side.
I think you mean the best. You want to fight?
Yes.
1v1?
I don't know. Rapid, what tier are you in solo queue?
Well, on the EU West servers, I don't think that 1v1 is going to go down very well. But
it's fine. We find like an intermediate point. Like we both play with 200 ping on China's servers. But we actually get we've got the full lineups now, so I just want to quickly mention that Dark Passage here have picked quite a heavy teamfight composition. They're going to be very reliant though on Irelia doing well in that top lane to prevent that pressure from the top lane of Cloud9 Eclipse. So Rapid, what were you going to say?
Well, I was gonna say that I hope Irelia does Irelia good in that top lane, because she's gonna have her hands full against a Shyvana, kind of one of the kings of the top lane, along with Renekton. With Renekton banned, we'll have to see if this relatively interesting pick in the top lane Irelia works out pretty well, or pretty welly up there. Mid lane, of course, is just the LeBlanc versus Orianna matchup, and should be safe farming for Orianna with aggressive roams from LeBlanc. Very different styles between the teams. We get into game number 2 here in Chaos TV's coverage of the Riot Turkey International Invitational number 3 between Cloud9 HyperX Eclipse and Dark Passage. Also, I was horribly misled by the idea that we were not going to have a spectator delay, which is why I was rushing through and cutting off Spuddington and doing all kinds of stuff. But it does appear as if we have a slight amount of time to talk about things.
It's fine. We've been filling for about 40 minutes at this point. I think it's fine. Oh, apparently we will actually just cut to music. So guys, we will just give our voice boxes a brief rest. So guys, stick around. We'll be right back in 2 minutes and 21 seconds, plus however long it takes to load, which could be any amount of time. So that number is completely irrelevant, and I'm talking, so it's become less. But we'll be right back. We'll see you when we're on the Rift.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're a little bit late with a start. We're about 2 minutes into the game, so we've gotten through with our early invades. Thankfully, nobody died, so we should be good here for the early start of this game. Once again, welcome to Chaos TV's coverage of the Riot Turkey International Invitational number 3. It's Cloud9 HyperX Eclipse. They're your team in the blue, taking on Dark Passage, Turkey's finest here in the red. And interesting matchup for this game will, of course, be that Irelia top versus Odwamna's Shyvana. So I'm really excited about that. I think I have like 2,000 games with Irelia so far. She's super fun, and I love playing her. I'm glad to see her back out onto the Rift.
I absolutely hate Irelia. I really, really do. I've hated her since Season 2 when she was popular, but I don't think it matters because Crystal Meth, or Crystal M as he is now known, is coming in on the top lane. He has got that red buff, and Irelia is very good at setting up ganks.
But Fabulous screwed it up by actually, he Blade Surged a minion, didn't kill it, and that put his Blade Surge on a 13-second cooldown. So he wasn't able to Blade Surge in on a low health minion, get the reset, and then help out Crystal there as he came to gank. So a little bit unfortunate, but still a gank successful at pushing Shyvana back to base, and that will give Irelia the level advantage when he comes back. And Irelia's levels, especially on up to level 5 especially, where she has a huge power spike, can be really big. Now, Crystal's going to come mid and kill off the LeBlanc clone, but probably will not be able to pick off the Vivin anytime soon.
Getting that sick gold bonus from killing the clone. Is there? I think it's 25 gold, isn't it? Not like a 0 gold like a Teemo shroud.
Yeah, it's 25 gold for the clone. Clones are worth 25 gold. Tibbers is worth 50, and then small ghouls and minions and monsters are actually worth 5 gold, like things like Yorick Ghosts. But we got Crystal coming down to the bottom lane, and it should be fairly obvious that he's just like running between the lanes, ganking them, and especially with a very aggressive play here from Dark Passageways Thresh player, whose name I'm going to let Spudding to pronounce. We actually have an engage just in time for Crystal's counter game.
Yes,
it looks like Voidal dropping down pretty low. Just remembered I was play-by-play.
Yes, indeed. I was about to go in on the awkward play-by-play.
Yeah, I was ready, man. I keep trying to like bait Spuddington by passing off play-by-play. It's the best. This is like the caster challenges right here. But one of the challenges, of course, being able to remember your role. Roll of the counter ganker came from Ku, who was able to come in there and pick up first blood for Cloud9 HyperX Eclipse. And there you go. First blood on the jungler means he's going to have a lot more strength overall ganking lanes, but of course will not give too much strength away to the lanes that experienced that unfortunate death on Crystal M.
Yeah, indeed. But Ku has found mid lane again. I think Naro will get away from it, though.
Yeah, Ku's actually going to take a lot of damage. He's down to a couple hundred hit points. He should go back to base. He's going to go back to base the easy way by hitting the recall button. Crystal M, of course, went back the hard way by dying and is down 10 CS. And after having so much early game pressure, it's a little bit rough. Yarnan able to, he got to play back into turret, but more importantly, didn't use the spell shield. So if he gets death sentence, he's still going to be safe.
Crystal, man, is again coming for this top lane, but Fabulous, he's going to have the level advantage.
Fabulous is going to go in there, has to flash away, and holy cow, that Eve damage. Way too much to handle. Fabulous flashed away, stayed alive, and that is going to be the counter kill, 1-1 now for both teams.
You can see how much focus Dark Passage is putting on this top lane. They need Irelia to do well because, as we discussed in Champion Select, a lot of Cloud9's playstyle revolves around snowballing your top lane so that you can apply map pressure and then use that to set up picks with your mid lane and jungle. So if obviously you can get a strong duelist top lane like an Irelia ahead, you can do some serious damage. But Crystal M has been found again.
Yeah, and now it's just Ku counter jungling so hard. Might go for the dive. It's so close. Does go in. There's the auto attack after the dash in for the kill.
Seriously unusually aggressive play from a Wukong jungler pre-level 6, but he knew he had the advantage and he also guessed where Crystal M could be. And even if Crystal M had actually not been there, he could have still gone and stolen the golems away and been ready to set up a gank when Shyvana came back. So multi-layered plan there from Ku and very nicely executed.
Alright, so as far as lanes are concerned, the lanes are actually fairly intact, even CS and everything like that across the board. 10 CS advantage down bottom on, I see Fab going in onto Odwamna. Got a lot of burst damage down there, but that's ultimate down and half of his mana pool expended. That is not something that Shyvana has to worry about. We'll have to pop a few potions here as he stays in lane, but the aggressive Aurelia all in just to give herself presence in that lane.
Yeah. It doesn't really cost her that much because the Transcendent Blade's ultimate is a very short cooldown. You can actually see now another buff contest and Naru trading off against Forbidden.
Ooh, and Forbidden able to push now there away from the blue buff and just keep him zoned, and that time the blue buff actually went to Hjarnan, so that's pretty cool, having a blue buff on Sivir. Of course, the recent changes to Sivir actually made it so, and I don't think these are live changes. They're, oh my gosh, Naru. I saw Wukong come in and I was like, oh, Naru's at his turret. There's no possible way he could, oh. Flash barrier, not enough. Bottom lane, we're going to see Thresh get ignited. He's going to go down. The ignite on Voidal won't be enough. Hjarnan just got a body block in there for a little bit. A nice kill both mid and bottom. Every lane winning here for Cloud9 HyperX Eclipse.
Yeah, just now we also saw Ku looking for an invade, but Crystal Meth was able to get his red buff and get out of dodge before getting taken down, so he's not falling too far behind. And having just hit level 6, this is now Evelynn really looking very scary. Of course, Wukong is also just hit a very major ultimate-based power spike, and he knows exactly where Evelynn is, thanks to those wards and the red buff ward in particular, which means it's going to be very difficult to set up a gank here. I really don't see Odwamne going down to this.
Yeah, and he's actually just frozen in his lane at his turret because as in Aurelia, you can play very aggressively, especially around this like level 7 to 9 power spike. Mid lane, though, is going to be another death for Naru. Anytime I see Ku just walking around the mid lane, I expect spontaneous combustion here from Naru because that's just about what he's been doing, is walking in the lane. So much damage there for the Wombo combo.
That's why LeBlanc is so scary if you don't have a I mean, even if you do have a very defensive mid laner. But I mean like a super defensive mid laner like Lulu, where 2 of her spells can be used to give her extra bonus health. And actually, Ku flashes over!
And he's got the Cyclone right on top of Crystal Meth. Just reading him like a book, and that's why you place green wards at jungle camps. So you can scout out Evelynn when she reveals herself, and the flash over the wall into the Cyclone. Taking down Crystal M with style.
Dark Passage are in serious trouble right now. There's a big gold deficit, and there really doesn't look like there are many options for them to play against the style. They've gotten the momentum going.
No, flash out, forced out there by Hjarnan, and it's Culling coming backwards. Holy Phoenix takes a little bit of damage, but more importantly, a nice bait out on the spell shield and able to turn that right back around. Of course, that's Thresh ult down. A lot of damage lacking here, a lot of health lacking for Holy Phoenix. He still has to play defensively. Of course, that's a mana potion running on Hjarnan, keeping him in that lane.
But it's an interesting thing that Sivir, the lower range and generally considered to be slightly weaker early AD carry, is the one doing really well in this early stage. She's got a CS advantage, got XP advantage. Ku has been spotted though, so if he's probably actually just looking for a counter gank here. But the thing is, Eve is going to be very free to try and counter gank him if that is necessary.
Speaking of counter ganks, like, to be honest, it's just been Ku all day long. Has had so many good counter ganks, and Odwamna actually almost losing out that lane. Fab's top lane Aurelia is just really working out, and especially against one of kind of the kings of top lane here in Shyvana. It's been really awesome to watch that guy work. Odwamna does bait out that Equilibrium strike, so he's going to be relatively safe at his turret, but in the meantime, the rest of his team is just going off on the entire map. C9E picking up the first dragon of the game here at 11
dive
minutes.
in top.
And dive is not really something that you should be expecting as Aurelia going in, because usually you'd have more health than that, but Domna has just been building aggressively early on, so didn't have any tank stats and went down to the aggressive play, but Fabulous could have overextended. Fabiven's going to come in here. Fabulous is going to have to go in for this, and Fabiven playing this very, very carefully. Knows exactly where he is. He's going to get that equilibrium side gone. A lot of damage. Actually, Blade surging away. Dodges out from the distortion. Chain will latch. There's the ignite as well, and one more auto attack. Fabiven takes him down.
Very, very important to stop the Aurelia train going, and there's actually more action in the bot lane. Didn't even notice that was going on, but it looked like a dive there. A 3-on-2 dive against Thresh Lucian. That's an incredibly dangerous thing to have to deal with. It's an incredibly dangerous play to make at all, in fact, by C9E, and it just shows how far ahead C9E are in general now. The bot lane is dominant. That top lane is basically the only place Dark Passage have a hope, and they did just get it shut down.
Yeah, the bottom lane dive was about as picture perfect as you could want to see. Unfortunately, we didn't see it because of all the action up top, but Ku just dove Cyclone 2-man knockup, and you just had the Wombo combo underneath it. We didn't even get the warning of like one champion death and then the other, because Yarden hit like the world's best boomerang and then auto attack, finished up both kills at the same time. Double kill for that guy. And if you look, you're seeing a whole lot of zeros in the death column there for C9E, and not a whole lot of filled in kill columns here for Dark Passage. Bottom lane not working out too well. Top lane maybe showing a little bit of signs of life, but after getting dove there, you can really see that Fabiven's able to turn around these losing matchups.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that make Aurelia really, really strong against Shyvana, but she's got to be so careful, because once again, Fabiven is roaming with the mid tower down now. Fabulous is in a very, very dangerous spot, but Odoamne also has to be careful. He's low.
Oh, there's the Blade Surge right in there. Of course, not one, but two chains going in. Fabiven comes top lane for his second kill, and that is the struggle of playing any kind. Okay, Voidals going back in, but gets Relentless Pursuit back into the turret. Now Crystal's going to come bottom again, trying to look for the counter kill, but he has to be so careful that he just doesn't die instantly.
And just look at the wards in his jungle.
Oh,
There's no way they don't know.
Ku coming around behind, gonna go diving in. Cyclone on the hunt, gonna give him some movement speed. They get there just in time for one knockup on to Thresh, who will go down. And now there's a turnaround command Shockwave, picking up a kill on the Ku, turning it back around. But now, oh my goodness, Naru in a little bit of trouble. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. Voidal trying to at least take the turret up a little bit to allow Hjarden for the dive, but not gonna go too over aggressive. Winds up with a 2-4-1.
Base of the mountain keeps Voidal alive. Yeah, very, very risky stuff.
Okay,
and
now
Fabulous.
It's 2-for-1. Fabiven back in the top lane, over and over again, just going for the dive.
Yeah, this is now just gone beyond the point where Dark Passage can do almost anything. Their one shining hope in the top lane is now dead for the third time in this game, and it's rapidly getting out of control. Dragon not going to be up immediately for them to force it, but with the outer towers down, with such good ward control in the area, and with such dominant lanes now, it's only going to be a matter of time, it seems, until C9E is able to start taking those inner towers down. In fact, they already took the bottom one. I'm blind. But they are really in control right now.
And just look at Fabiven. He's got like an expressway to top lane. He just walks top over and over again. And Aurelia great in 1v1s, not super great when you're just getting dove over and over again. So, yeah, it's been a struggle for Fabulous. He's been doing it the best that he possibly can, but without a lot of presence mid from Naru, he's just let Fabiven roam up on him over and over, and like I said, not really working out too well.
It's almost like the one thing that's good for Dark Passage now, in a sort of bizarre, perverted sort of way, is that because they're falling behind this much so early in the game, Baron isn't actually a very safe objective for C9EU to force. They might be able to, though, if they can get a couple of kills, and now maybe Fabiven overextended there.
Fabiven has that disengage with the distortion, just bounces himself out of there. A lot of pressure mid lane now is rotation from the support, but a pull in on Ku. There's the ball, protecting Naru just a little bit. Ku might be able to go down here. There's actually the slow coming in. We're looking for the shockwave to follow, but instead dashing in for the cyclone. Nah, not really the best option, but that's going to be the 4th kill of the game for Dark Passage. They will find a nice pick.
Yeah, that's very, very nice for them. That'll give them another chance now because they know they have the numbers advantage to get some control over their jungle. I'd actually like to see early upgraded trinket sweepers, but it's not even a possibility for their support right now because he's level 7 and you can't upgrade your trinket at that stage. But because of the fact that C9EU has so much vision control, it's just going to keep snowballing into more picks. So they need to do something about that. In fact, having 4 warding totems is understandable because they're trying to get vision for themselves, but they really need to stop C9EU from having it.
And even though Ku did die there, he goes back to base and grabs a pickaxe on top of his Brutalizer and Elder Lizard. So Ku is actually up at a 195 attack damage. You look at a Holy Phoenix, and he's just now hitting that mark. So when the jungler has as much AD as the AD carry, I feel like that's probably a sign that things might not be going Dark Passage's way. And even with the Dark Passage on their side and having a Thresh down there, not really working out. Death Sentence lands on Voidal, but something tells me it might be a Death Sentence going the other way. As now, Solar Flare does land on to Crystal M. Gets flared out there last tick, and it's going to be a death for Evelyn. And now Hjarnan just unstoppable. Does get that base of the mountain for the shield. A couple of nice assists going over there. 5-0-4, but now, top lane, the Fabulous just cannot trade anymore. Giant Spell. And all that aggression really turning that lane around.
3v2 double kill in the bottom lane for C9EU. They're looking for the kill on Naru, even though it's straight up. Shockwave comes down, but I don't think they're going to be able to do anything. Shyvana is now able to crush Irelia in a one-on-one. And Forbiven is pushing down the mid lane tower. So, yeah, I think this is a pretty far gone sort of a game at this point, Rapid.
Well, especially sad for me to see the top lane matchup where Fab was doing so well, does now have that big spike in power of a Trinity Force, so at least in that respect should be able to even out that top lane just a little bit more. But once again, getting Dove is going to be such a big issue. Oh, Ku, I thought he was going to go in with a Cyclone onto the Crystalline Thresh, but not able to, or not really wanting to. Just yet. Hjarnan, though, will go down after Fab just comes in and crushes him with that Trinity Force power, living up 2 tons of damage. And even actually, Ku might go down here. Solar Flare does get the stun. Crystal stays alive just barely. At the end of that, a couple nice kills coming in for DP.
Yeah, that's a 2 for nothing, which is really, really good for them. And Forbiven trying to fight Naru in the mid lane, but he's actually flashed over the ball.
Oh, there's going to be one more auto-attacker spell going to kill off Naru, shields himself up, and no kills there in the mid lane. Forbiven just checking to make sure there aren't any wards up there, as he will probably be able to farm this out, but both mid laners very low. The double distortion and Forbiven taking down Naru. Just great play, knowing his ranges, knowing his power. Picking up the 18th kill of the game here for Cloud9 HyperX Eclipse.
Really, really aggressive play, and just a misplay by Naru, not registering that incoming, even though he has barrier now. So he's fallen a little bit behind. Holy Phoenix is going to be, I think, very much leaving the bottom lane right now. But there were a couple of signs of hope there. There were some overextensions by C9 Eclipse, and if you don't know, that is probably one of their biggest weaknesses as a team, fighting the bottom lane.
There's the box coming down, and Voidal actually might die, but sweet lord, the shields keep him alive, and Hjarnan's got more damage than he knows what to do with. 2 kills, and there's the third for the triple kill in the bottom. Fabulous gets Dove top lane. Ku stays alive. GG is coming out in a 4-0 surrender vote. Cloud9 HyperX Eclipse will pick up their 2nd win in a row here versus Dark Passage in the Riot Turkey International Invitational number 3 Grand Finals.